For those of you who are new to the channel, hi, I'm Omari, your Perpetual Tech Noob. Learning more with you. Tech is an ever-evolving field. This means there will always be a new system to learn, which makes us perpetual learners, or in my case, a perpetual noob.
Who's the noob?
I'm now in my 40s. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, but I spent some of my formative years in Jersey City. I've dabbled in various art forms, from story and songwriting to dance, woodworking, and drawing. I graduated from Vaughn College here in New York more than a while ago, and in 2023 I graduated from my web development bootcamp. I'm currently in a career transition from the electrical trade to software engineering. As you could probably tell, I like to build and create things. And I also have a love of math and puzzle solving. So this may be why I gravitated to these two fields as well. During the pandemic, I was considered an essential worker. But with so few businesses open, work soon dried up for me as well. I was laid off in the very first week of 2021. Sadly, this was only 2 years after me purchasing my first home for my family. I only worked a total of 4 weeks that year, but luckily I caught the tail end of the federal unemployment assistance. I picked up coding to pass the time until the union called me with my next opportunity. The more time passed, the more capable I became, the more I started thinking to myself, I would really love to do this professionally. With software, I get to flex and forge my troubleshooting skills with every algorithm or product I create. With software, I could create something valuable, something essential, something fun, something funny, something useful, something, anything, albeit not exactly tangible. This is also a plus though, since decades of wear and tear from electrical trade has proven to take its toll on me. If I could build a world with my brain and my fingertips, why wouldn't I give my back and my knees, and my shoulders a rest? Getting back to the story. Due to circumstances here in New York at the time, the union was unwilling to put me back on the field, basically. After a few months, my savings dried up and I was forced to withdraw my 401k. I figured I'd use it to buy time while I make this new career jump. After doing the math, I realized that a new college degree just wouldn't be feasible, especially after the taxes and the, early withdrawal penalties will be taken out. Enter boot camps and their recent popularity. Boot camps were gaining popularity at the time and were seemingly successful in bridging the gap for people like me. They were a little too popular though. The boot camp I chose kept pushing back my starting date every time a new cohort was about to begin. When it was all said and done, I spent about a year on the wait list. Of course, I didn't expect that at the time. So I decided to bank my future on this exciting new prospect. But little did I know that the software hiring frenzy was over, and it would soon be very difficult to even get noticed. Since the bootcamp centered on the MERN stack, I started self-studying, figuring that I only had a few months to prepare. Bootcamps are known to be intense, and I didn't want to be the deer in the headlights that I heard so much about during my research. By the time the cohort finally started, I was pretty familiar with JavaScript and React. I was even making apps from scratch just to challenge myself. My cohort was full of people who were extremely fast learners, but pretty much new to programming, period. I coasted for the first 2/3 of the program. Regardless, I was able to find engagement through studying with my peers and tutoring them from time to time and helping them troubleshoot. The last start of the program brought the API and database integration that I was waiting for. The final project was individual full-stack app creations. We had about a week to design the UI, the UX, the API, set up the database, which of course was Mongo, to get everything running, spun up on the web. It wasn't no joke. 1 week. 1 week. This project had me on my toes until the very morning of our presentations. It was like right before class, I finished the last little bit and said, okay, MVP done at least. I totally destroyed that cohort. And I left with a better than perfect score. Hey, listen, all right? If there's extra credit, I'm going to go get it. I want all the credits, all right? A noob's problem. Ever since I've been floundering about our recently depleted tech industry, learning more and applying to more positions, practicing and creating more, and filling out more job applications, praying more, with every other self-taught developer out there, with every other boot camp graduate out there, with all of the recently graduated CS majors out there, with all of the recently laid off engineers who could at least say that they have experience. Sadly, my problems getting a job don't even end there. A noob's list of issues. Backed up funnel of competition. Minimum skills and experience bar has drastically risen since I started. I'm lacking visibility. I'm lacking networking skills. And I also need to increase my network reach. I'm lacking mentors. I need mentorship. I'm not yet comfortable speaking in public. Let me know if you have noticed. I need to practice explaining my thoughts in code live and in a concise manner. And I have a fear of failing in public. There are other internal factors that need improvement, and I'm sure there are other points that I haven't even examined yet. But in the meantime, these are the main reasons behind the creation of this channel. I'm sure you've noticed that it's pretty heavily weighted with communication issues. A noob's solution. I'm a noob at content creation as well. There's a lot of things I want to bring to you all. I figure in time, you, the viewer, will show me what's valued, and the least valued things could wither away. One thought was to do random leak code challenges. Now, by no means am I as skilled as your favorite algorithm expert, but it's a pretty favorite hobby of mine, and it's something that I also need to practice more often too. For now, the plan is 1 hour algo challenges, where I could try to refactor if I have time remaining after a successful submission. I figure this may help with my visibility, communication, and even mentorship as my peers pile into the comments to tell me about the more efficient algos or data structures. Worse than the worst, you get a free ticket to a 1 hour horror flick. Another thought was to host story sharing sessions. Others, in similar positions to ours, may be able to vent a little bit and tell anecdotes that may help fresher learners. These anecdotes, these experiences, sometimes could be life-saving. You could tell of the latest scam that you almost got caught into, or maybe, hopefully not, but maybe even did get caught into. And this way you might be trying to warn people behind you, like, hey, these guys are trying this new scam. I got caught. I try to apply for this company and they put me through 20 rounds of interviewing just to, just to ghost me at the end. Some of these experiences would be very helpful to the community. If the channel grows to a substantial amount, successful devs might decide to come over here and share their tips and their insight and experience as well. We'll see. I was also considering live app creation, where we'll start with the simple stuff and gradually expand and, raise the difficulty. Now, I know that YouTube is more of a place for tutorials than for live coding. People would rather see a finished product that they could, recreate instead of seeing someone, struggle over a syntax error for an hour. But I think it might be valuable too. I think it could be useful to have people see me go through my troubleshooting methods. Whether they get prided in themselves to say, hey, I got a better troubleshooting method than this noob, or if they're like, hey, I never thought about that. Oh, that's what that error message means. Oh, okay, if it's a stack of error messages, I might want to look at the very last one or the very first one in this particular case and see where the lines take me, so on and so forth. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if any of these ideas hold weight. Maybe you as a viewer would feel free to put it in the comments. Let me know which ones you like better. As time moves on, we'll adapt accordingly. For now, I think that will suffice with the introduction. Welcome to the Perpetual Tech Noob. I hope to see you again soon. If you like what we're doing over here, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. In the meantime, keep building. Okay, I didn't originally voice over this section. This is just the list and how I set up the list. You can feel free to pause it through. Those are the fonts that I used from Google, of course. That web text is to help make to style the letters. At the bottom, you see slide in is basically, it's just waiting to be used. In this function, I would put slide in into as one of the classes for one of those elements. I have the screen set up so that as a click event, I could press on the div which holds the list to make the new item slide in whenever I wanted it to. That part of that function is to replace that first string in every class, put it back in as I'm changing the strings in the class to new items and slide in. New items I'm replacing, but I know that's going to be there. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth would be, things different in every element. So of course I want to replace those. And that's about it. All right, y'all. Until next time, you know how it goes. Keep building.